Thanks for staying with Eye on Ocean County. I'm Laura Jones. Our guest this half hour is Eugene Foley. He is a music industry consultant, and you can get more information by going to his website at foleyentertainment.com. Now, you have some pretty good success stories right here from New Jersey.
Absolutely.
Tell me about some of the names that our folks might recognize, or maybe they're even watching.
Yeah, one in particular is an artist named Erin Schewel, who's from this area and has done very well. She's broken mostly in Asbury Park, which is more Monmouth County, but that's like the nearest big music scene to here. But she's played a lot of...
Asbury Park, you think of Bruce, right?
Yeah, exactly. It's a great music city, and you know, she plays throughout, you know, Ocean County, Monmouth County, and now is venturing into touring nationally, all over the Midwest and the Southeast, and you know, New England. So it's just the same thing. Someone who came in the early stages and get the press, get the radio, and off they go. You
must have some pretty amazing stories of some of the things that you've heard. People, you know, who thought they were going to make it, or maybe people who didn't even realize that they were going to make it themselves.
Exactly.
On both ends of the spectrum.
There was these two brothers that I did services for a few years ago, and very nice but very passionate about their business. And I think they got to the point in their life they realized they were getting up there in age, it wasn't going to happen, and we were having this business meeting at a restaurant, and they got into an argument, and one brother stabbed the other brother with a fork right at the kitchen, right at the table, you know.
Wow.
And like the mother's like, "You're embarrassing yourselves," and I'm thinking, "Oh my God." You know? So it's like, it's good to have passion, but you know, let's not commit a felony while doing it.
Exactly. Yeah, no kidding. It's important a lot of times, most times, if you are going to make it to that national level, you're going to need an agent. You can't just go out there on your own, drop a demo reel off at Sony and expect to make it big.
Exactly. Most of the radio stations and almost all the record companies, music publishers, they have those unsolicited rules where unless they have a relationship with the person, manager, lawyer, agent, producer, someone, then the person is just not getting past the mailroom person.
So it's important to somebody entering into the industry, you know, don't snub the local college radio station or the local community radio station. Go for it, you know.
Absolutely. College radio is enormous because college radio, you're going to get played because, you know, if the music director and the program director like you, they're going to play you. It doesn't matter that you don't have a major label logo in the back of your record. They're not looking for handouts or bribes or any of the other shady stuff. It's just like, hey, I enjoy your music, I'm going to play you. And you have 10,000 to 40,000 college students on a given campus listening to that. That's excellent exposure.
Well, I remember when I was in college, I heard a band playing for free, known as the Red Hot Chili Peppers, and then now look where they are.
Yeah.
Technology has really changed the face of music. You have, you know, iTunes that you can get. You have Facebook, Twitter, all types of different mediums where you can deliver this. How has this changed the music industry?
It's been an incredible opportunity for the up-and-coming musician now, because now you could sell your music to fans without needing a record company anywhere in the world. You could promote yourself, market yourself, build a fan base right from your, you know, your spare bedroom, wherever your computer is. Yeah. Where, you know, back in my day, you could do it.
And a camera. Yep. A lot of the cameras today and the computer programs, you don't have to spend a lot of money.
No,
really.
not at all. As long as you're pretty savvy with that stuff, you could have fans all over the world. I have clients that have sold thousands of downloads all over the world just by getting on the internet, making fans, making friends. People like it, they buy it. Where years ago there was no way for me to sell a CD. Well, even before CDs, if I had a band years ago, how could I sell to someone in Italy or something? There was no chance.
Right. So how do you protect yourself and make money from your song? If you know you have something and you want to, you know, put it online, you know, what kind of
if you go the right way, just, you know, get it properly copywritten with the Library of Congress, you know, Library of Congress website.
Which is actually pretty easy to do.
Oh, very easy. It's all step by step. You do it all online, fill out the paper, send them a check, done, and at least you have that copyright protection. And then, you know, you get it uploaded. If you have physical CDs to CD Baby, the digital to iTunes. And then you just got to get and drive those music fans to those sites to buy them.
It's amazing. Sometimes people just hit YouTube or Facebook at the right time, and it can just go global.
Oh, millions. There's people who have like quirky, cool videos. Look at that group. Remember that video of the treadmills?
Yes.
Remember that? I mean, they had like 50 million hits on the internet for that video because it was cool. It was a great song.
Right.
And it's really propelled them to the next level.
Yeah. Now, what about songs that you hear on the radio and I think I've heard that song before. Or my dad used to say this all the time. Oh, music, it all same. What you listen to today, it all sounds the same. What's going on?
I think record company executives are so worried about making a mistake where they could lose their job. And you can't blame them in this economy. No one wants to lose their job. So they'll look and see what other artists are doing well and kind of try to sign their version of that artist, saying, hey, this is what radio's embracing. This is what the fans are buying. I'm going to play it safe.
So big trends.
Yep. So they go for the trends, and they have their version, and it lets them, you know, live to play another day. Where there might be the next Jimi Hendrix might be in his basement, you know, in Alabama, And since he's not a flavor of the day, he may never get a chance, where 20 years ago he would have, and that's sad.
And that is producing a lot of one-hit wonders as a result. You know, you have
Absolutely.
Britney Spears, and then how many, we were talking in the green room about this, how many, 18-year-old blonde
Well, the copycat type.
Copycats.
Yep, exactly. And that's a shame. But you just hope that eventually, if you are watching this and you have talent, if you just keep working, it's like a marathon. Don't give up when you're at mile 17, I would say. Just keep going, keep going. You never know if you're getting close enough that you will get the attention of somebody like me or a label executive or somebody that could open up doors.
What is the best way to get the attention of you? I mean, sometimes is it just being persistent? Is it... I won't even throw out options. How do you get your attention?
Being polite, being professional, approaching the person the right way, emailing or calling, talking about yourself a little bit, the little, elevator pitch on the phone, sending the CD and the press kit. And if, for me, I'm there to teach. So even if someone is not very good, it's still my pleasure to call them on the phone or email them back and give them some advice and pointers. And it's amazing when you do that, where they come back 2 months later and say, I read your book, or I took your advice in that email and I fixed it. Can I send you a new CD? And when you hear the improvement, you feel like, wow, I'm glad I gave that person 20 minutes because look what it did for them.
Right. And they've got to take the advice.
Exactly.
A lot of people think that they know better sometimes. They go for advice and then they don't take it.
Some people, I'll hear it's like, well, my drummer told me this is the way it works. And the drummer's a 19-year-old kid who never left his block.
Right.
And it's like, our clients have done over 100 million records. We try to teach them, but some people, they don't want to hear it. So I say, well, come back and see me in a couple of years when you realize what it's all about.
How do record companies market their artists to consumers? Is it hard to sell?
It's tough nowadays because so many people, the younger generation, have never paid for music. They always just get it for free off the internet. The scary part of that is if you they don't know. If you walked into a fancy store and walked out with a $500 jacket and ran out the door, when you're laying in bed that night, you're going to know you did something wrong.
Right.
But the music, the younger generation, they don't even see the guilt in it, that every time they steal a song online, that an artist is not being paid, the producer's not being paid, and that's their livelihood. And there's no guilt associated with that. So that's the scary part.
So how do record companies, do they even call them record companies anymore?
They still do.
All right. Even though kids today, they have no idea.
No.
Kids today.
What's a label?
I can't believe I just said that. What's a record? What?
Exactly. I think labels now, that's why they're doing a lot of what's called 360 deals, meaning they're getting a 360 of everything in your career, where they're getting a piece of your publishing, a piece of your music sales, a piece of your merchandise, a piece of your ticket sales. Because if they're saying, I'm putting $2 million to make you famous, and you're making all this money now because of what my company did for you, and I'm making, you're selling 30,000 CDs because everyone else is stealing online. How can you stay in business like that? So they're saying, all right, if that's the case, I want my hand in your pocket for everything you're making. And that's the new trend. A lot of labels are using what is called 360 deals, where they're getting a piece of everything.
What's payola?
Payola is where a record company will bribe a radio station to get airplay. It could be cash, it could be prizes, it could be trips, it could be drugs. You hear about it all.
Still?
Yeah.
Was it more prevalent?
It was
10
more
years
prevalent
ago?
years ago. And then they had a big crackdown of it a few years ago in New York. When Elliot Spitzer was the Attorney General, he really came down on the labels and he, fined them millions of dollars. But like anything, when there's that much money in the line, I think there's always a way for people to do it. I'm sure it still goes on, maybe a little more secretive than it was 10 years ago.
How has satellite radio changed the music industry too? Because now you can go to the Elvis channel, it's all Elvis all the time, or the Sinatra channel, or the Bluegrass channel. There's a Bluegrass channel out there.
I think the biggest thing for satellite radio is people don't have commercials. If you're going on a 2-hour drive, you can just put it on, you could tune in exactly the style of music you want, and no commercials. And people are willing to pay that $8 or $10 or $12 a month for that convenience.
All right, well, we're going to continue our conversation on the other side of the break. Stay with us as we continue here on Eye on Ocean County. Eugene Foley is our guest this half hour, a music industry consultant. Stay with us.